WNEM TV5 starts now with breaking news.
That breaking news, a plane crash in Frankenmuth. Officials responded to a crash glider near the Frankenmuth airport. TV5's Jonathan Jackson has the latest.
Hi there, Jeremy. Yeah, we are in Frankenmuth here at the tiny Zinder Airport, where, as you can see behind me, a tow truck is pulling this aircraft out of the ground where it crashed earlier. Officials say it happened around 3 o'clock and that there were 2 individuals inside of the aircraft. However, they were taken to the hospital for minor injuries. At this time, we're not sure what caused the crash. However, I talked with some locals in the area off camera who say they lived here for several years and haven't seen any aircraft crash like this in some time. Of course, we'll continue to bring you updates as we get them. But for now, reporting in Frankenmuth, Jonathan Jackson, WNEM TV5.
Thank you, Jonathan. Well, new tonight, police are actively searching for a man connected to a quadruple homicide in a rural area in Detroit. Authorities now believe he is in Bay County. Officers say Saturday night they found 2 men and 2 women dead from apparent gunshot wounds in Sumter Township. Police identified 37-year-old Raymond Lee Bailey, an ex-boyfriend of one of the women, as a suspect in the slayings. They believe he might have headed toward the Upper Peninsula. Bailey's vehicle was found abandoned near Bay City. Officials say if you see him, contact 911 immediately. At this time, he should be considered dangerous. They also ask if you have any information on his whereabouts, contact authorities at 734-461-4833. The Bay City Department of Public Safety is investigating after a man was shot at a large party. Officers say they responded to a large fight on East Midland Street. When they arrived, they heard gunshots being fired. According to police, they found a 27-year-old Saginaw man in the street and immediately began to administer aid. Police are looking for a 28-year-old suspect who is a Bay City resident. They say he fled the scene in an unknown vehicle. The suspect is described as a black male, 5'11", and weighs 150 pounds. He has black curly hair with tattoos on his face, neck, and chest. Anyone with information is asked to contact the Department of Public Safety or Bay County Central Dispatch. Well, over the course of 5 months, the Genesee Human Oppression Strike Team putting away many across mid-Michigan. TV5's Blake Keller reports on the latest from the Ghost Task Force.
It's a sickness.
That's Genesee County Sheriff Chris Swanson telling TV5 new information in their hunt for suspected child traffickers. 17 people have been arrested since sting operations started in March.
National stats confirm that a pedophile or a predator taken off the street can save the lives of 25 future victims.
Those arrested residing all over mid-Michigan. Sheriff Swanson says offenders have been found in Flint, Burton, Grand Blanc, Saginaw, Holly, and Goodrich, just to name a few.
It's pedophilia. It is sexual deviancy that leads to vulnerable people getting sexually abused.
Also included in that list, a current City of Burton firefighter and former police officer.
He'd been a police officer in and around Genesee County in multiple agencies and was not a police officer at the time of the arrest, but was on the fire department.
Swanson says the suspects face multiple charges: using a computer to commit a crime, accosting a child for immoral purposes, and possession of child sexual abusive material, 2 20-year felonies and a 4-year felony.
I've got detectives actually downtown now working the case. So this whole week coming up, we're going to continue to find those that have not been found yet.
Swanson says the Ghost Task Force still has plenty of work left to do.
Yeah, I don't want to take police reports of people that have already been assaulted. I want to find the people before they hurt the victims.
In Genesee County, Blake Keller, WNEM TV5.
The identities and professions of the alleged offenders who've already been arraigned will be revealed this week. 565 new cases of COVID-19 were confirmed today, and 6 new deaths were reported. That brings the state's overall totals to 92,720 cases and the death toll to 6,324. The FDA approved a new saliva-based test that could be a game changer for widespread testing. As Bryn Gingras explains, this comes as several colleges report new clusters on campus.
This weekend, a grim milestone. The total number of American lives lost since the start of the pandemic approaching 170,000 nationwide. Cases are trending down in many states, but California is still the hardest hit state with more than 12,000 new cases, including backlogs. And in Florida, health officials announced 6,000 new cases.
I think in the next 3 or 4 days, the state will surpass 10,000 people who have died. And, we're thinking about the death rate going down, and we're hoping it's just a few dozen. Just think about what we're normalizing. We're literally normalizing dozens and dozens or 50 or more people dying every single day. That's something that's unimaginable at any other time.
And just days into the beginning of the semester, the University of North Carolina is reporting the third cluster of cases, this time tied to a fraternity. The state of Alabama reporting that more than 7,000 children there have tested positive. This as the CDC says cases are steadily rising among children, and as many as 45% of those cases may be asymptomatic. A sobering reminder from Georgia. A 15-year-old boy in the Atlanta area has died from coronavirus complications. The news coming as parents and educators face a difficult decision: how to start school.
If you are in a community with high rates of COVID-19, even with masks on, it is likely not safe to put those kids in an indoor school building with teachers and other staff members who may be high risk themselves. Listen, we don't want to put our kids and our teachers at risk, and we don't want kids bringing the virus home to their parents or their grandparents. That's a burden that kids shouldn't have to live with.
Late Saturday, Georgia's governor reversing course and signing an executive order allowing cities to enforce their own mask mandate, but exempting businesses from being forced to comply. And some potentially promising news on testing. The FDA announcing it has granted emergency use authorization to a new method that tests a person's saliva.
This test, which would require just a small bit of saliva, it doesn't need the same reagents and swabs that have been the rate-limiting step to being able to create testing at scale in this country. It really could be a game changer if we can deploy it.
Well, that was Bryn Gingras reporting. Saliva testing is very cheap and can be run by most labs. A new study from the CDC shows American children account for more than 7% of all of the country's cases. The statistics show the number and rate of infections among children steadily increased from March to July. The new numbers come as schools and universities across the country reopen for instruction. Well, here is a live look across mid-Michigan, where it's a beautiful way to cap off the weekend and head into the work week. Meteorologist John Gross has your full forecast. Hi, John.
Hey, good evening, Jamie. Good evening, everybody at home. Yeah, beautiful conditions out there for this hour, but we got plenty of rain earlier this morning. Let's go ahead and go over some of those rainfall reports. Kindy coming just shy of 8 inches, and right on its heels is Fillion at 7.92. Elkton, you picked up about 3.4 inches. Bayport, 3.15. In Cass City, 2.5 inches. But things have definitely improved for this early evening. Live look now over Mount Pleasant. Just a few clouds out in our skies. Temperatures right at 80 and very comfortable dew points into the mid-50s, and a light breeze out of the west at 3 miles per hour. Tonight we'll continue to see partly cloudy skies. Chance for an isolated shower can't be ruled out, but most stay dry. We'll see temperatures slide from the 60s into the upper 50s. Your full week forecast coming up in just a little bit. Jamie, back to you.
Thank you, John. Well, a pastor saying goodbye. A Flint pastor gives his last remarks to his congregation after more than 30 years of service. A football player's wife says sorry. The apology comes nearly 4 years after the fact.